I'm giving away a Cazillo sticker live during the show today. Hey everyone, Greg Cazillo from Cazillo.com. Welcome to Keep Shooting Monday number 37. That's right, during today's show, I'm actually giving away a sticker live. Something that I printed right on my Epson printer with some sticky paper, some interesting paper that I was using for some other projects. And so I printed the logo and thought it would be fun to give away. We're going to do a little contest today, a little trivia. And that's what everybody decided they want to do, is just some trivia. So later on during the show, what we're going to do is take these, give them away to the two people that can answer the two questions that I have that Roy is actually going to be sending over to me momentarily. And so that'll be good. So we're gonna give these away, see how kind of knowledge you guys have, and we'll go from there. So if not, I'll just give them away randomly anyway for somebody that commented, or maybe it's somebody I like. Anyway, so the big thing this week, I had my photo class this morning, taught that, and I thought we'd have had more questions, but it was interesting that it's always an interesting dynamic when I'm talking to these kinds of classes. This is a very basic digital class, and one thing that I notice is a lot of people always think that you're going to teach about their particular camera and their software, and unfortunately that's impossible because there's 12 or 13 people, 14 people in the class, and everybody has a different camera, everybody has a different computer, everybody has a different piece of software that they use, and that's unfortunately the way it is. But you do the best you can. We talked a little bit about inspiration and composition, and one of the big things that I really brought up was paying attention to the light. You need to know your camera, you need to know the technical stuff, but the things that really make great photos always start with good light, always start with good composition. So the best ways to learn those things are to pay attention and study those things in other photographs, find some really cool inspiration for some things, and that's actually one of the subjects that I wanted to talk about today, is inspiration. As of late, I'm a Sirius XM subscriber and a huge Howard Stern fan. Today they actually had Metallica, who is my all-time favorite band, on their show, and I'm just a huge fan of Metallica. Always have been, always will be. I actually went to see, while I was at Antonelli, funny story, man. One afternoon, I was at Antonelli. I'm actually in the black and white darkroom, and one of the other guys that was in class was like, "Hey, you a Metallica fan?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a Metallica fan. I love Metallica." He's like, "I've got an extra ticket for the S&M show," which was the Symphony of Metallica show at Madison Square Garden. I'm like, "Dude, let's go." So I'm like, "You got the ticket, and I'll drive us up there." I ended up driving up there. The best, God, I can't even say how awesome this show was, and there's still an inspiration to me. I still think back of that show and the drive up there, and it's one of those times that I'll definitely never forget. And it was cool because it was a connection, somebody at Antonelli. Just awesome, absolutely awesome. But my point is that find some inspiration somewhere. If it's me, that's great. If it's through music, if it's through video or movies. By the way, there's a Metallica movie coming out soon, so if you're a Metallica fan, they have a from what I hear, it's supposed to be a really awesome movie coming out, especially during the Howard show today. They talked about some of the camera angles and things that they're doing, seeing a lot of the video clips that Metallica's been putting up. So find some kind of inspiration. It doesn't only have to be photography in order to get you into something. It could be absolutely anything that could really get you into it and make you want to create something. And it just so happens that us as photographers, we want to do that as the actual, as a photograph, as a still image usually. So Find some inspiration, please. Speaking of which, I'm guessing I am a bit of an inspiration for a lot of people, because I have 31,190 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you very much, everybody. And over 2 million views. It's taken a year and a half to get to this point. Roy said it was May 4th, May 2011 or April 2011 that I posted a couple of the first videos. And so that's pretty cool. I just love the fact that it keeps growing, and every Monday morning I actually have a spreadsheet, and every Monday morning it's on my calendar. I have a spreadsheet, and I go back and I track all the numbers from Facebook to Twitter, all those subscribers through everything, and everything is tracked week in and week out. And so to see the continual growth, and over the last 2 years to see it grow and grow and grow, that's awesome. I really appreciate it, and hopefully we can keep on going. But thank you. I really appreciate it. Speaking of inspiration, interesting article posted on Petapixel, 5 ways to step up your editing game, and this is actually a really neat little article. Number 1, decent monitor. Good, very good suggestion. Always good to have a better monitor. Accuracy is important, especially talking about your white balance and when you're doing some editing. If you're not putting out a good product, you're not going to have a, you're not going to end up with a good one. You got to crap in, crap out, good stuff in, good stuff out, same idea. Color correction, same thing. I've noticed this lately. I've been trying to take more breaks when I'm working in long periods. Get up, walk around. They always say that if you take more breaks, then you end up with a lot, you are more productive. So if you sit too long, go take a break, go sit outside, you end up getting more work done. And I've been really trying to do the same thing for myself, so that's cool. Try a graphic pad. I actually have one. There's actually a new one that Wacom just released that is good and bad. You know what? I need to look at that. Wacom just released this new pad that has a pen, and it's like the new, it's like the Apple touchpad things. It's about the size of the Apple touchpads. And while I think it's a good idea, pen and touch, there it is. It's this new pen and touch thing, and it's a good price. You can use your finger or you can use your pen, which is awesome. The problem with it is, though, you have to have a separate dongle. And, especially when you're using it on the Mac, PC it isn't quite as bad. But when you're using it on the Mac, you only have 2 USB ports. And you have to use their wireless dongle in order to make this thing work. Why you wouldn't be able to use it via Bluetooth, I don't understand. Why wouldn't it work through Bluetooth just like the Apple touchpad does? I don't know. Maybe it's something to do with the bandwidth. I don't know. I would think the Bluetooth would be fast enough to be able to handle it. But that's the one issue that I see with this thing that would keep me from buying one anyway. I would use it as a replacement or in addition to the trackpad that I already have on the MacBook, but not when I have to plug in another dongle and I have to find the stupid little dongle. Maybe I'll lose the thing. I don't know. I'm just... good idea, but I think the execution of it could have been a little bit better from Wacom. Music. We talked about that. Getting good music, and coffee is always good. I don't know if anybody's a coffee fan out there. I get my cup of Wawa coffee or Dunkin' Donuts coffee in the morning. That definitely keeps me going. This was amazing to me. I saw this. I actually saw Don Bauer talk about this, and I'll try to remember to put up a link on this, to Don Bauer's article about this, or video about this too. This guy just all of a sudden stops, and
in accordance with God's will,
there's one big problem here with what this guy says, and I'm going to go through this.
Please, sirs, leave. Please. Anywhere other than here. This is a solemn assembly, not a photography session. Please move, or I will stop. I will stop the ceremony if you do not get out of the way. This is not about the photography. This is about God. Lawfully.
Two problems
and in
here.
accordance with God's will, you do now-
Two things here. Two issues, I should say. Number one, the pastor guy forgets one thing, okay? It's not about God and what God wants. It's about what the couple wants. If the couple paid for the photographers to be there in that spot, and it was talked about before, then that's where they're going to be. That's where they're going to stand. Now, the photographers probably did the right thing, okay? In my opinion, anyway. I wouldn't be happy about it if a pastor treated me like this, basically treating me like a piece of shit. I definitely would not be happy about it. But if I talked to the bride and groom before, and this is where they wanted me to be, this is where they wanted me to stand, this is the type of photography they wanted me to do, then I'm going to do what the bride and groom asked me to do. I'm not going to just change and move because this guy feels it's wrong. Alright? This guy's now infamous on YouTube. I don't know how many views this video has. But I'm sure it's a lot. So, because it's been passed around a lot. Just by the look on the groom's face and the bride's face, is like, are you kidding me? Why did this pastor do this? So, part of it, yes, is the pastor being an idiot. Basically, more or less, just being an asshole. Shouldn't be doing this. But I also would put fault back on the photographers for not talking about this with the pastor and saying, hey, the bride and groom told us they want us to be there, so that's where we're going to stand, and have them talk about it and figure it out before, and not just spring it on them in the last minute. So I'd say it's both of their faults, but it's definitely awkward with a capital A and an exclamation point at the end. Very, very awkward. So, yeah, very, very awkward, and a little bit of fault on both sides of this. I'd have probably done the same thing. But to be honest, you know what else I might do? I might have just taken the camera, just left it sit there. And right at the end, you see that the camera, right. As the camera's kind of being pulled away right there, you actually see the stool that I'm guessing the camera was sitting on right there. I'd have probably left that camera sit there. You know what I mean? And just walked away. And, the person is out of the way and worked fine. And now I see this guy over here. I'm guessing that was a videographer that was standing there and not a still photographer that was sitting there. Still, no matter what, I think it's important to talk about it with the bride and groom beforehand and figure it out, and be sure that they're okay with wherever you stand, and make sure that they have the discussion with the pastor beforehand. Then it doesn't have to be uncomfortable and awkward, especially during the ceremony or even before the ceremony, so you don't have to have that discussion. So think about that stuff beforehand wherever possible. Alright, something else I wanted to talk about. This new Nikon 1 AW1. Interesting little camera. Waterproof, shockproof. I think there's been a lot of rumors lately about how they're going to bring back their Nikonos system, which is an underwater body, Nikon. And Nikon was always the king of underwater with the Nikonos system. And a lot of photographers still shoot it to this day. They shoot film and, produces some amazing underwater images. The other way to go is to get a DSLR and then get a waterproof housing. But I think this is a good way to go for a lot of people, to be totally honest. They have a couple of waterproof lenses. And not only that, you can pick up the body and a lens, and then you can also use your other lenses, Nikon 1 lenses with it. So I think it's a good way to go for Nikon, and one more option, one more product to hopefully work on that brand again, and I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. They got some decent specs here, and of course it's going to shoot good photos since it's a Nikon. I don't know that it shoots RAW. I think all of those do shoot RAW, which is good. 14 megapixel, compatible with all the old lenses, and it also has this super high frame rate. I was reading in here somewhere. It has this super high frame rate of like 60, shooting at 60 frames per second fixed focus or 15 frames per second full autofocus. That's pretty awesome. The only problem with that is basically you're spraying and praying instead of concentrating on what the actual moment is. So it's kind of cheating, but it's a feature that they want to capture and they want to market to and use. But it's good to have an option once in a while, I guess. So yeah, interesting. I'll put up a link to that if you want to read more about it. By the way, all of the links and stuff that I talk about will be in the description after the show or on the post on the website. All right. Let's see. So let's talk about the new the photo assignment. And I thought I would go through and kind of quickly critique each of the photos that are posted here on this week's assignment and kind of pick my favorite live rather than doing it ahead of time. So, yeah, let's see how it goes and see if I like it or don't like it, how it ends up going. I think this one right here should be the winner. I think this is an awesome photograph. I love it. Oh, wait, it's mine. So, anyway, let's scrolling down and scrolling through these and see how we did. So, first one from Sanju. I guess that's how you say that. Sanju. I'm not sure how you say that. Anyway, first one. Interesting photo, kind of bland. Just flashlight from the foreground, and that's it. The light doesn't have a whole lot of interest to me, and maybe a little bit underexposed. Not great. I actually said something about this one last week, that the white balance is a little off. Unfortunately, I did not notice that Andy posted a new one. Next one, interesting, from Jim, but I'm not sure I like the path right in the middle. Maybe a little bit different angle or something. I do like the mountains there in the background, or the hill in the background, but just, again, a little bland for me. This is a little bit better. You got a little bit of a round area, and you're not a leading line, but your line is kind of going away off to infinity, so that's a good thing. That's an interesting thing that that your eyes like, that your brain likes to see. It's a little bit, could be a little bit lighter, or could be a little bit darker, I should say, a little bit more saturation for my taste, but that's it. This one, again, it's the opposite. It's a little bit too dark. I don't know if he darkened it. It looks like a little bit over-processed. Oh, you know what? He may have reposted this, because I think I said something about this last week, about that one. So, this is interesting, and he actually has the Statue of Liberty there, so that's pretty cool. I like you have a good foreground, middle ground, background in there. Maybe it could have been a little bit better day, a little bit clearer day, but I'm sure that's pretty tough to get around New York City to get a good clear day with all the smog and stuff out there. Good one here from Kurt. I like it. I like the slight angle, or the Dutch angle, as I've heard called. I'm not a big fan of that, but in this instance, it actually works. And good. Overall, I like it. I like it. This one from Jim, a little on the boring side. Not sure why all this area down here is included. I don't know. This guy, can't really see the signature there in the bottom, from Dave. Doesn't bother me. But anyway, good photo of the flower. I like the depth of field. Overall good. I like the darkness of this one. Sometimes having a dark photo doesn't work. Sometimes you really need to have that little bit brighter version, or you need to show that good exposure. This particular one, I think it actually works, so I think that's a good one. Let's see. Michael. I'm not sure what this is. I'm guessing it is. What is that? I'm guessing it's water on a spider web, but you have to kind of think about it in order to figure out what it is. So if it's not super obvious and doesn't kind of come up and smack you in the head right away, I don't know that it is that it works. So I don't know. What else? This one I thought was awesome, from Beast. Thought it was pretty cool. Not a whole lot of green, but interesting. Interesting. I do like this one from Carl. Something different. You can see his reflection in the thing there, whatever it may be. Thanks for joining. This is fun. I do like this one a lot from Christine. I love how tight it is, although I wish it had a little bit more depth of field. A little more. You always got to be careful of your depth of field when you're shooting stuff that's real close. And so shooting at f3.2 with something when you're that close, you really need to go to 8, 11, because as you get closer to something, your depth of field gets shallower and shallower. So you really can't shoot those, the wide open apertures at at f4 and 5.6. You need to go to f8, f11, that kind of thing, in order to make it work. And I think this one could have used a little bit more depth of field, in my opinion. Maybe a touch more contrast and maybe a little bit warmer. It's a little cold over here in the greens for me, but it's not bad. This one's good. I like the sun and the clouds. I think that works. Good time of the day. Another one from Jose. He seems to be posting a lot of stuff lately. That's cool. One from Arizona. Interesting. I like it. I'm sure it is tough to find something green in Arizona, except for maybe a little bit of green grass here and there. Probably isn't a lot of it since it's mostly desert out that way. So, cool photo. I like how tight it is. It makes me think about, well, where was it taken? I wouldn't think that you would ever see this number of cacti in one spot this close. So I'm guessing it might have been taken at like a farm or I don't know, something along those lines, but interesting anyway. What was this one? Doesn't super grab me. This was fun. Did green in a different place. A reflection of green rather than directly green, so that was kind of cool. Frog, he's awesome. He's definitely one of the top 3, I think. So we gotta keep him. And let's see what else. I actually didn't even look at the third page. So, yeah, we'll see how we did here. This one, again, not super grabbing me. Kind of bland. Not bad, but kind of bland. This is a little bit better since you have something in the foreground, a little bit more interesting. I really like this from Dennis. Good foreground, middle ground, background. Different angle than you would normally see. Typically, you don't see. I don't know. It's just different, and I like it. So I think that might be one of my top ones. I think my screen just moved. There we go. Sunset on the vineyard. Okay, so we're probably talking about grapes. Interesting. Yeah, not a winner. This one, again, a little bit on the cold side, a little bit too, it's in shadow. So since it's in shadow, we're looking at a little bit of a cooler area. So we need to warm that up a little bit, at least in my opinion. The moon has been awesome lately in my area. I don't know about you guys, but it's really been good. So that's a good one. Another one from Dennis. I don't know. Okay. So I guess I'm only going to pick two. The frog here and the cornfield. Those are my top two. I like them. I think they give us that idea of that summer, that green, that fun, that warm and all that stuff. So I think that's I think those are my two. Those are my two this week. So a new assignment. New assignment. I thought I would wing it today. I didn't plan it today. I really didn't. And so let's, since we're at the end of September, you know what? Let's just do something with autumn, or if you're on the other side of the world, let's do spring. Okay. I'm looking for the classic autumn image or the classic spring image. All right, spring meaning something is new, something is just turning green, something is small and initially growing. That kind of first sign of winter turning into summer. Maybe it's still a little brown, something like that. Then on the flip side of that, it's autumn. It's dying. It's changing color. We're talking about a lot of color, a lot of blues I should say blues, reds and yellows and, the classic leaves. But I'm going to make this one a little bit longer because I know that not everyone has this forever. So I'm actually going to make this one last for 4 weeks. All right. Actually, the end of October. Whatever the last Friday is in October. I should have looked that up. Whoops. Anyway, last Friday of October will be the last day. I'll post it up on the website and I'll retweet all this stuff. And anyway, either spring/autumn, that's what we're working on for this one. And so get me some cool stuff. Get me some cool leaves, some autumn time. I really want to make this a good one. And you know what? Let's incentivize you guys a little bit. The top 3 photos on this one. I'm going to make this one an actual contest. All right? Since I'm going to make this one a longer one, the top 3 photos that I choose, I'll send you a T-shirt, and I'll also send you a sticker that we talked about, like this. And if you want to pick a photo of mine that you want a print of, I'll even give you one of those in like an 11x14 or something like that. So this one is more of a contest. It's going to be a longer running one, spring/autumn. Top 3 winners, top 3, not just a top 1, top 3. A free T-shirt. You will get stickers, and you also can pick a photo of mine, probably from Flickr or from the website, the ones that are for sale, and I'll send you one of those too. So make this a really good one, give you guys a reason to really try. You can post as many as you want. I don't have a problem with that, but if I see your name a lot, maybe you're going to water down. Just give me your really, really best ones. Don't forget they have to be taken in the next month. All right? No doubt about it. They cannot be from last year, the year before, or anything like that. They got to be taken now. So we will be watching that, especially like a hawk on this one, especially since they're actually going to be giving it away. We don't want to be anybody to cheat. So no cheaters. We don't like cheaters. We want to do it right. And minimal on the Photoshop. Minimal. 25th of October. That's the day. That might not be long enough. I may extend it a little bit. I may give that another week. But let's see how it goes. Let's see how the leaves are. I'll do some research and I'll find out when the leaves change as it goes south. I know that here in Pennsylvania, we usually get the leaves that are changing in like mid-October or somewhere in there. So if it's a little bit farther south, maybe you won't have as much time. So let me try it out. See what happens. So free T-shirt, stickers, and a photo. All that stuff will be yours. I'll send it to you. All right. Speaking of giving aways and stickers, let's do this. Let's do this little contest thing, then we'll get into some photography questions. If you do have some questions, please post them over on YouTube or send me a tweet with them, and I will reply. Okay? Refresh Twitter a little bit and see what's going on there. So, Roy sent me a couple of questions. Oh, yes. That's an interesting one. I actually didn't even prepare this. I just thought of this last minute, and so that's why I'm kind of getting back into this and looking at this. So, first question. Okay, first question. Post, a little warning for everybody. Little warning before I post these. Head over to the YouTube video, pull up the comment box on YouTube. So the first person to answer this correctly, the first comment, meaning the bottom one, is going to be the winner. So if I were you, I would open up that comment box, put your cursor in there, put your fingers right there on the on your keyboard and ready to type, and put it in immediately. And I need you to actually type in the words, not just be like ABC or number one or something like that. I need you to actually type the question, type the answer, type the actual answer to the question. All right, so yes, okay. These are good, two good questions. I think it'll be good. They're from relatively recent videos I've talked about, probably in the last, I'd say 2 months I've talked about these things, so that's good. I think I've given everybody enough time now to make sure that you're ready to go on the YouTube comment box. So question number one for a sticker, and yes, I'll send it overseas as long as you can receive stuff from here in the U.S. I'm going to change this to this. Okay. So, question number one. How to test if batteries, AA batteries, are full? Multiple choice. Does it fall on its butt? Does it roll over? Or does it bounce? Does it fall on its butt? Does it roll over? Or does it bounce? That is question number one. And by the way, Roy is going to be the deciding factor on this. He is paying attention, and I will double check it later on to be sure that we're all good. Make sure nobody's comment got spammed or added as spam, because I know that YouTube's filters are interesting, and so I'll do my best to get this accurate. And if it's not, we'll try it again some other day in some other fashion or something. So, yes. Okay. Alright, that's number one. If battery is full, how does it fall? On its butt, roll over, or bounce? Number two. Question number two. Roy, can I go ahead and do the second question, I think? Or should I wait another minute? You know what? Let's wait. Let's answer a couple of questions, and then we'll go back to the second question and the second giveaway. I think that's a good idea. Okay. Sorry, Roy, I'm looking for more questions. Do we not have that many? Do you think Nikon will make a new version of the 24-70 2.8 with VR? Probably. I would say they'll probably do one. The newer version, whenever it comes out, is probably going to have a VR. I don't, however, think it's going to happen anytime soon. I'd say maybe with the... the current version came out with the D3. So that's been 5 years. Or is it 6? I would say they'll probably come out with... It's a possibility. Obviously, I don't know anything. But I would say if they are going to come out with another one, they might come out with the D5. And so I'd say maybe another 3 to 5 years before they come out with another replacement for that 24-70 with VR. In my opinion, you really only need it for video on a 24-70 lens like that. But that's it. Alright. Roy, question number 2, I don't understand. If you could elaborate on that. Question number 2 at 2:10 p.m. you sent it. At least on my side. Alright, so next one. Next photo question. Recommendations for building a photo editing machine. I actually did a video on this not that long ago, probably 6 months or a year ago. You need a lot of RAM, at least 8 gigs of RAM if you really want a heavy hitter. 16 would be better. And the fastest processor you can afford, and a good motherboard to go with those two things. SSD is super important. Makes a big difference. Obviously, you're probably looking at a Windows machine since you're going to build your own, so you'll want to get a... I would stick with Windows 7, personally. I don't know that I would go with Windows 8 yet. Maybe try it out. I don't know how good or bad those are as editing machines on Windows 8. I haven't tested myself. I would stick with Windows 7 on that since it's basically a kick-ass operating system. So... other than that, some additional hard drives, like a OneDrive for like a cache, is always a good thing if you have the money. Faster drives to write to, go with 10K RPM drives for your primary storage, and if you can really beef it up, your primary photo storage would be on a RAID, something like that. And then, of course, don't forget about money for your backups. That's always important to do that. Software. Think about all the parts and pieces that you need. Figure out a realistic budget. Maybe it's $2,000, and start really checking that out. I'll go back and I'll try and find the link to that video that I talked about. Most likely, if you do a search on the website for Windows or photo editing or a computer or something like that on Cazillo.com, you'll probably come up with that pretty easily on the site. So I would do a search there too, just in case. Question number 4. When I shoot portraits in the skies behind the subject, how do I get the same exposure of both the subject and sky without the sky being blown out? I shoot portraits in the sky behind the subject. How do I get the same exposure of both the subject and the sky? You probably can't. I would say you're probably not going to be able to do that because it's so bright back there. You're going to need to add light to the foreground subject somehow in order to get that background to balance. That's just what you're going to have to do. Or change the time of day that you're shooting, or should change the location that you're shooting. It's probably going to be the only way to go. So try add flash. That'd be the number 1. Otherwise, different time of day, different location. Only other thing I could think of was maybe a filter. It's probably not going to work for a portrait because they're usually in the middle. That's about it. So, Roy, did anybody win? Who won? Did somebody win a sticker? Somebody have the right answer for the first one? Yes, no, hopefully. Hopefully somebody won that so far. From the first question, that was about a battery. If battery's full, has a fall. I gave you multiple choice here, people. Come on, somebody has to get it right. Shouldn't be too difficult. Alright, so let's try the second one here. How to get rid of the reflections in a windshield. This is the second question. Second question for the sticker today. Number 1, raise the shutter speed, higher ISO. Number 2, polarizing filter. Number 3, use spot metering. Which answer is it? Which one is it? For the sticker, I will drop it in the mail for you, and you can cut it apart and stick it to stuff. Although I'm not a fan of sticking it outside. Maybe you try it outside. I'd like to know what it looks like in a year, weathered and all that good stuff. Maybe it would look cool. Maybe it would look better when it was all weathered and stuff. You never know. Hopefully we have a good, clear answer. Seriously, we don't have a clear winner for either of these? Wow. Nobody around anymore? Oh, you know why? I'm guessing it's because of the YouTube thing. Roy, post that. Okay. Okay, yeah, we got a winner. We've got a winner. I'm looking through, so from what I can tell, unofficial results. Unofficial results so far. It looks like I Like Building Stuff said, does it bounce? But then Kenneth Larson says bounce right afterwards. So I'm guessing I Like Building Stuff is going to win that one. And then... yes, and he reposted... Someone also reposted in the comments about that photo editing PC video. Thank you very much for reposting that. Appreciate that. And it looks like Kenneth is going to win the polarizer filter question. And so, yes. Okay, looks like those are our two winners for today. Okay, cool. Well, that was fun. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how well these things are gonna... I know that they're gonna stick well. We'll see. We'll see if you guys, if I get good feedback about this, maybe I'll keep doing it. Maybe I'll keep trying it. Give them away here and there. Just something fun. Something fun. Okay. So, I'm guessing that's everything. Do we... Frederico... Let's see... Still unofficial. Might have to go back and check this. I'm going to go back and check this just to be sure on my end versus Roy, what Roy's seeing. So, yeah, we'll go back. We'll go back and double check it just to be sure. But again, that was unofficial results. Unofficial results. I'll tweet out or post on Facebook about the real answer. So, the real winner. Looking to see if there's any more questions. Would really like a video on wedding photography sometime. If you do a search around the website, there are a couple good videos on wedding photography already, so you can check that out. Alright, well, I think that is it. I don't see... Thinking of starting a little photo business with a few kids' soccer team. What would you think? Should I try to sell prints or should I go all out with digital delivery? If you're going to do something like that, don't just do it half-assed. If you're going to do it, you got to do it. Basically, what I recommend is to sell both prints and digital images. My experience lately is that people are more apt to buy a digital image rather than an actual print, which is fine. It's less work, it's less shipping, it's less all that stuff. Whatever. You need to set up a website for people to be able to view them. So you got to be ready to go on that end. And I actually talked about that in another video using a software called Gallery that you put up on the website. And you post that gallery and you put the photos on there and you send a link and you do all that stuff. And so it's interesting. And so, quite more questions about that posted to the forum. I'll gladly answer those and do my best to go back over that. But a lot of those answers are already in other videos, so I'll probably refer you to those videos. So I think that is it. Check out the top 10 tips. If you haven't already, sign up for the newsletter to get your top 10 tips. Two different ebooks. If you haven't already done that, you can check that out. Fall or spring photo contest, free t-shirt, free stickers, and a photo, all that stuff for the top 3 people. I'll be sending those out, and I think that's it. Thanks, guys. Greg Cazillo, Cazillo.com. Keep shooting. See ya.